The NMAA knows that community support is a major factor in bringing an impactful and meaningful experience to our student athletes each year. In recognition of that support, the NMAA would like to thank TLC for their valued sponsorship of this year's preseason video.
Hi, Dale Armstrong from TLC. We are proud supporters of NMAA. In the world of high school sports, where competition is fierce, it's easy to get caught up pursuing victory. But even with the thrill of the game, there are a couple things that you must never forget: sportsmanship and mental health. Taking care of your mental health equips you to be resilient, focused, and able to bounce back from setbacks. So as you step into the competition, remember the importance of sportsmanship and mental health. Compete with respect and compassion.
Hi, I'm JP Murrieta with the New Mexico Activities Association. Welcome to the start of another high school season. This preseason video will talk about some of the expectations for this year, specifically in regards to sportsmanship and competing with class. The NMAA promotes a level of competition that involves respect, integrity, and responsibility for student athletes, fans, parents, and coaches.
But it's out of control, man. It's embarrassing. I know this. I'm the most animated coach that you've probably ever seen when my team's playing. I go watch my kids play. I don't say boo. I don't wave my arms. I don't try to coach my kids. With all due respect to most parents out there, I probably know more about basketball than most of them, okay? But I sit in the stands and I don't say a word. I don't try to tell my kid how they should play. You know what I tell my two boys when they come ask me, Dad, why are you asking me, man? I didn't run your practice. Go talk to your coach. But don't talk about your coach in front of me, man. Because if you are, then you're not playing basketball. You don't understand why you didn't play better? Go talk to your coach. I'm not your coach. I'm your dad. Somebody disrespects you, then I'm here. If you fail, good. Deal with it. I'm going to help you get up. But don't come talk to me about coaching. I do this for a living, man. I'm not going to criticize a guy that's trying to help you. We're going to have the adults in the stands yelling obscenities at the officials, criticizing every decision the coach makes, yelling at the kids like if they were LeBron James and Dwayne Wade playing in the NBA Finals, like they know how to handle their coach over here and their parent over here yelling at them. Then we wonder why kids get confused, man, why kids rebel, why kids don't know how to listen. If someone wants to be so animated when there's a basketball game going on, then go coach the team. Go run practices. Show up every day at 6 o'clock at night and run an hour and a half practice. That's the part that's sad, man. Then we wonder why kids disrespect teachers, you know. How is a kid going to respect a teacher when the adults don't respect the other adults?
I think we can all agree that behavior by fans has gotten out of hand. During the off-season, the New Mexico Activities Association updated the sportsmanship bylaws to include specific penalties for egregious acts of unsportsmanlike conduct. The updated bylaw now specifies the possibility of suspension of a team or fan from athletic activities for unsportsmanlike conduct. The bylaw reads, anytime an egregious act of unsportsmanlike conduct by a team participant, including a coach, occurs 2 or more times during the same season at the same school in the same activity, the team will be suspended from participation in that activity for the remainder of the season. Also, anytime an egregious act of unsportsmanlike conduct by a non-team participant, for example, a parent or fan, occurs 2 or more times during the same season at the same school in the same activity, the non-team member, along with all school spectators, will be suspended from attendance in that activity for the remainder of the season. Examples of egregious unsportsmanlike conduct by participants, coaches, or spectators include, but are not limited to, fans entering the playing surface to engage in acts of violence or abuse, constant verbal attacks on officials, attacking other fans, coaches physically or verbally attacking officials, players fighting other players during post-game handshakes, or student sections verbally chanting inappropriate or demeaning comments towards individuals, teams, or officials. In the event the second act of misconduct occurs when there are no contests left in the current season, the penalty may be applied to the next season in the same activity. The NMAA will notify the school that the team and/or individual or spectator has been placed on warning after the first offense. I'm sure there are a lot of questions with this 2 strikes and you're out policy. We hope this video will answer those questions. Sally, how big of a problem has fan behavior become at sporting events, and why is there a need for this updated bylaw?
Well, it's become a problem not only in New Mexico, but nationwide. And we've had bad behavior, and we see it on TV, we see it at sporting events, we see it all over now. And so it is becoming a problem, and there has been uptick in bad behavior in New Mexico. We have seen officials just threatened. We have seen them being followed out to cars. We've seen, cussing and screaming, and we have to go back and think, JP, that this is an extension of the classroom. We are education-based athletics. And although we have to think about it as the football field, the basketball court, that is our classroom. Those are our kids that we need to teach lifelong skills for. So whether maybe in your community you don't see it and you're wondering, why are we doing this? It is happening statewide, and we need to curb this bad behavior.
What is the difference between egregious behavior and fans just booing from the stands? Can you give us an example of what might constitute a first strike or even a second violation?
I can give you some examples. We have our Compete with Class initiative, and we have had that for the past 10 years. And if a fan individually is acting out, they are removed from the event, and they could be banned up to 365 calendar days from NMAA events. We will still continue to have that Compete with Class initiative. This is on top of it for egregious behavior. So we are not talking about one fan screaming and yelling and they have to remove them from the event. We're talking about continuous bad behavior that we call egregious, which is over that line. And some examples of that is we've had some brawls in the stands. We've had parents come out on the floor and they're fighting and arguing. We've had student bodies in a hole in unison say F, 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 F you, F you, all the way through the game, and nothing has been done about it. We've had officials that have come out of the game and they have spit all over their cars, or they are threatened, followed to the locker room. Those types of things are egregious behaviors. It is not the one fan that boos, or if a crowd boos, but when you cross the line and take it personal, that's egregious. When you are calling out officials' families, or you're calling out names, those are egregious behavior that we just are not going to tolerate anymore. And so, yes, once again, egregious versus one individual fan, we need to get that misconception that one individual fan may affect everybody. But yes, if it's egregious behavior, then it will affect the whole entire fan base.
Have you seen this type of bylaw work in other states, and will this help bench that bad behavior?
This bylaw has really started in Oklahoma, and then Louisiana adopted it. And a lot of states are looking at this bylaw. It's called this 2 strikes bylaw. The reason is every state association has seen an uptick in bad behavior, and it needs to be curbed. Now the difference is in Oklahoma, 2 strikes, whether it's the fan base or not, really had the kids. They were no longer going to be able to compete if the fans were affecting the kids. In New Mexico, we started talking about this in the fall of 2022, and our commission and our board of directors, our athletic directors, asked to separate the fans versus the kids or the coaches. And so we have separated that, so that's a little bit different than Oklahoma. But yes, many state associations are going to this. The National Federation has a bench bad behavior campaign, because we have seen an uptick nationwide. And New Mexico, we have to do better. We need to lead by example with good sportsmanship.
What is the message you want people to take away from the updated sportsmanship bylaw?
I think the message that I would like for everybody to understand is your fellow community members, your fellow parents, they can affect you in the fan base as far as whether you're going to be able to watch your kids or not. And so we need to get back to where we see bad behavior, we need to address the bad behavior. A lot of times we're in the stands or we're on the court and we're waiting for somebody else to address it. We're waiting for the athletic director, the administrator to address it. And so basically what this has done in Oklahoma and Louisiana, parents are policing each other. In other words, if there's one strike against a team or a fan base, then the parents are saying, come on, let's not have bad behavior because we want to continue to watch our kids the rest of the year. And so I think that's the message, is where we have to go back, where we step up and we are examples and we are role models. And when somebody is not acting appropriately, we need to say something to that person and we need to model good behavior throughout the community. And also, too, we need to remember this is an extension of the classroom. Again, I said that before, but we are teaching kids lifelong skills. What do you want your son or daughter to come out of athletics, and how do you want them to act? And how do you want your grandchildren to act? And that's what we have to remember, because this high school athletics, and for the majority of our students, this is their end of their athletic career, and how they experience what they experience in this endeavor, in this athletic realm, is how they're going to act when they graduate. And this is a time right now that we need to change society, we need to change New Mexico, and we need to go back and do what's right. And that is to act appropriately in these sporting events. Cheer on your daughter, cheer on your son, cheer on community members, stay positive, and we can all have a good experience.
This season should not just be about lifting the blue trophy and winning a state title. At the end of the last NBA season, the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. One of the best players in the world was asked, after his team lost, if this season was considered a failure. Here was his answer.
I'm curious for you, do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay, do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. There's always steps to it. You know, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? I don't think so, no. Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year, somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, you know, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, you know, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one.
We couldn't have said it any better. Athletics and activities are not just about winning it all. It's about the steps to success and learning lifelong skills. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, cheer, there's no failure in sports. There's good days and bad days. Some days you'll be successful and others you won't. That's what sports is about. You don't always win. Only one team will finish the year on top. The rest of them are not failures. The number one reason kids take part in athletics and activities is to have fun. Keep that in mind during the season. Cheer for your team, but let's keep it clean and positive.
It's a new year and a new season. Last year we had 80,000 students take part in athletics and activities. That's a lot of kids that we can affect with lifelong skills, an extension of the classroom. We don't want to punish or penalize a fan base with our new 2 strikes you're out penalty. We want to raise the bar when it comes to sportsmanship. We can do this collectively, New Mexico, with your help. as parents, as fans, as community members. Let's act appropriately and show good sportsmanship. Cheer for your team and not against your opponent. Let's all remember that it's not about just winning a blue trophy. It's about our kids making memories and having a positive experience, something that they can remember forever. So let's have a great year and let's compete with class.